Okay, Snowball will continue this. Snowball had a minor little glitch that cut it off. Snowball apologizes for that. No, Barenziah screamed. She sprang up and ran towards him, but he was gone, winked out of existence. Just as Symmetry's claymore drawn reached him, his blade cleaved a single stroke through empty air. Then he stood still as if taking the stone god's place. Barenziah said nothing, heard nothing, saw nothing, felt nothing. Symmetrus told the half-dozen or so elves who had accompanied him that the nightingale and the Queen Barenziah had lost their way and had been set upon by giant spiders, that the nightingale had lost his footing and fallen into a deep crevasse, which closed over him, that his body could not be recovered, that the queen had been badly shaken by the encounter and deeply mourned the loss of her friend, who had fallen in her defense. Such was Symmetrus's presence and power of command that the slack-jawed knights, none of whom had caught more than a glimpse of what happened, were convinced that it was all exactly as he said. The queen was escorted back to the palace and taken to her chamber, whereupon she dismissed her servants in waiting. She sat still before her mirror for a long time, stunned, too distraught to even weep. Symmetra stood watching over her. "Do you have any idea at all what you have just done?" he said finally, flatly, coldly. "You should have told me," Barenziah whispered. "The Staff of Chaos. I never dreamed it lay here," he said. A mewling escape. Wait, what? A mewling escaped her lips, and she doubled over in despair. "Oh, what have I done? What have I done? What happens now? What's to become of me, of us? Do you love him? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, my Symmetrus, the gods have mercy on me. But I did love him. Did. But now, I don't know. I am not sure. Symmetrus. Symmetrus's hard-lined face softened slightly, and his eyes glittered with a new light, and he sighed. Aye, that's something, then. You will become a mother yet, if it's within my power. As for the rest, Barenziah, my dearest Barenziah, I expect you to have loosed a storm upon the land. It'll be a while yet in the brewing, but when it comes, we'll weather it together, as we always have." He came over to her then and stripped her of her clothing and carried her to the bed. Out of grief and longing, her enfeebled body responded to his brawny one, as it never had before, pouring forth all that the nightingale had wakened to life in her, and in so doing calming the restless ghosts of all he had destroyed. She was emptied, and then she was filled, for a child was planted and grew within her. As her son flourished in the womb, so did her feeling towards patient, faithful, devoted Symmetrus, who had been rooted in long friendship and unbroken affection, and which now at last ripened into the fullness of true love. 8 years later, they were again blessed, this time with a daughter. And maybe they skip ahead a little bit. Directly after the Nightingale's theft of the Staff of Chaos, Symmetrus had sent urgent secret communiques to Uriel's septum. He had not gone himself as he would normally have, choosing instead to stay with Barenziah during her fertile period, to father a son upon her. For this and for the theft, he suffered Uriel Septim's temporary disfavor and unjust suspicion. Spies were sent in search of the thief, but the nightingale seemed to have vanished whence he had come, whatever that was. Dark elf, in part perhaps, said Barenziah, but part human too, I think in disguise. Else I would not have come so quickly to fertility. Part dark elf for sure, and of ancient Ra'atim lineage at that. Else he would have not have been able to free the staff. Simraptor reasoned. He turned to peer at her fixedly. He turned to peer at her fixedly. That's a weird sentence. It makes sense, but that's a weird sentence. I don't think he would have lain with you as an elf. He did not dare, for then he would not have been able to part from you. He smiled, then he turned serious once more. Aye, he knew that the staff lay there, not the horn, and that he must teleport to safety. The staff is not a weapon that would have seen him clear, unlike the horn. Praise the gods at least that he doesn't know. Wait, why did I just say no? That's wrong. Praise the gods at least that he does not have that. It seems all was as expected. But how did he know? I placed the staff there myself with the aid of the ragtail end of the Ra'athim clan, who now sits king in the castle, Ebonheart, as a reward. That name. Tiber Septim claimed the horn, but left the staff for safekeeping. Aye, now the nightingale can use the staff to sow the seeds of strife and dissension wherever he goes, if he wishes. Yet that alone will not gain him power. That lies with the horn and the ability to use it. I'm not so sure it's power the nightingale seeks, Barenziah said. All seek power, Simraptor said, each in our own way. Not I, she answered. I, my lord, have found that for which I sought. Got a little bit of stumbly around a few of the names back here at the end, but that's the end of Snowball's dramatic reading of The Real Barenziah, Volume 4. Tune in next time for The Real Barenziah, Volume 5. Have a good day. Bye-bye.